This is a key to section 8.7, part 1. And in number 1, you are told that the price of a home is $210 and the bank requires a 20% down payment and 3 points at the time of closing. The cost of a home is financed with a 30-year fixed rate mortgage at 5%. All right, so this is an installment loan, just like in the section dealing with car ownership. So the formula is the same as before. You're going to use this formula for finding the monthly payment. Okay, so in number 1, though, so remember you are asked to show the work, so make sure you show all work. So 1, this is 1A, so you want to find the monthly payment. All right, so monthly payment is going to be the principal, the amount you borrowed, times the rate divided by the number of installments per year, which is going to be 12, divided by 1 minus 1 plus r divided by n, raised to the negative nt power. Okay, now, so part A, they want you to find the required down payment. So remember, before you're going to find the monthly payment, remember the monthly payment is based on how much you borrowed. So you didn't borrow $210 because you made a down payment. So first of all, let's go ahead and find the down payment. So the down payment will equal, your total is 20% of the $210,000. So 20% times $210,000 equals, and then using your calculator, remember that's 20%, so 0.20. So 0.2 times, I'm using the calculator, so 0.2 times 210,000. So your down payment is $42,000. That's a lot of money. All right, so the down payment is $42,000. Okay, so let's suppose you have the money and you're going to put that down payment. All right, so you put that amount down. Okay, so let's find the amount of the mortgage. So let's find out how much you're going to borrow. So that's part B. How much will you borrow? Well, you're putting this much as a down payment. The house is selling for $210,000. So your mortgage amount then, the amount you're going to borrow will be, so the amount of mortgage, all right, the amount of mortgage will equal $210,000 subtract $42,000, and so that's going to give you, when you subtract, you're going to get $168,000. Okay, so $168,000. So that's how much you're going to borrow. All right, so that's part B. Let's look at part C. All right, in part C, you're asked how much must be paid for the 3 points at closing. All right, so remember 1 point is equal to 1%. Okay, 1 point is 1%. Now it's 1% of the amount borrowed. So it's not how much the house is worth, or I'm sorry, how much the price of the home is. It's how much you're borrowing. All right, so it's 1% of the amount borrowed. All right, so I borrowed $168,000. So the 3 points will cost me 3%. Remember, each point's a percent, so 3 points would be 3%. So 3% of the amount borrowed. All right, and so that's going to equal, so 3%, so using your calculator, 3% times $168,000 will give me $5,040. Okay? Now, that's in addition to what you borrowed. So not only do you pay this amount, but you have to pay closing costs based on that amount. Okay? All right. So keep in mind that just because you see a house that sells for this amount and you can afford, let's say, putting down this amount, there are other costs involved. There's closing costs, and there's all kinds of fees that's involved as well. All right, part D. Okay, in Part D, you're told, let's see, find the monthly payment. All right, so again, you have taxes and insurance. You got to put down monthly as well. So that's your escrow account. So in Part D, though, it says let's just exclude that information. So exclude escrow, taxes, and insurance. Let's just find the monthly payment. So that's where this formula is going to come in. So your monthly payment will equal the amount you borrowed, which is $168,000, times the rate. You're told the rate is 5%. So 5%. So the rate's 5%. Divided by the 12 installments per year. And all that's being divided by 1 minus 1 plus the rate, 0.05, divided by 12. All raised to the negative. Make sure you put that in parentheses, just like we've done in the past. Negative 12 times, and this is for 30 years. So times 30. All right, make sure you close the bracket. Now using your calculator, so that's what we get when you use a calculator. So using a calculator, we're going to get, let's see, using a calculator, we have 168,000 times, in parentheses, 0.05 divided by 12, close the parentheses, all that's being divided by, parentheses 1 minus, parentheses 1 plus, 0.05 divided by 12, close the parentheses. Now I'm raising it to an exponent. So exponent, make sure you do the exponent, parentheses, negative 12 times 30, close the parentheses, close that, equal, so it looks like $901.86, $901.86. Okay, so make sure you round to nearest cent. Okay, nearest cent. All right, that's Part D. Okay, Part E, find the total cost of interest over 30 years. All right, so let's find the total cost of interest over 30 years. All right, so this is how much you have to pay per month. That includes, remember, this includes your interest and principal. So it includes the amount that goes towards the interest and includes amount that goes towards the principal. So that's how much you have to pay per month. So in Part E, the first thing you need to do is find out your total amount paid. Okay, total amount paid over the 30-year period. So that's going to be $901.86 per month times 12 months. So that's 1 year. Whatever that is, that's how much you pay in 1 year. So if you want to look at that, that's a pretty substantial amount. So $901.86 times 12. So that's almost $11,000. See that? $10,822.32. But that's for 30 years. Okay, so times 30, and so that's going to equal $324,669.60. So that's how much you pay over a 30-year period. And all you put down, and your loan was just $168,000, right? So that's a lot of extra money you're paying. So that extra money is your interest. So the interest will be $324,669.60. Subtract how much you borrowed, how much the mortgage is, which is $168,000. And so that's going to equal, so minus $168,000. So that's $156,669.60. So that's your interest. All right, so that's Part E. Okay? All right, let's look at number 2. So number 2 says this. The price of a home is $180,000. The bank requires a 50% down payment. The buyers offer two mortgage options, 15-year fixed rate at 5% or a 30-year fixed rate at 5%. How much is saved in interest? All right, so you see how these are the same interest rate? So basically, obviously, the 15-year fixed rate would be the one that would save you the most interest. Okay, so let's look at each one. So number 2. So remember, you want to find the interest. So the first thing you got to do, just like we did this, the first thing you have to do is find out your monthly payment. All right, so this is number 2. So number 2. So let's look at the 15-year loan. All right, so the monthly payment will equal. There's a 50% down payment. So let's look at that first. So let's remember the down payment's this. All right, the down payment is 50%, so it's $180,000 times 15% equals, so $180,000 times 15% is $27,000. Okay, all right. So then the amount you're going to borrow, so the amount borrowed will equal $180,000 minus $27,000, which is going to equal $153,000. Okay, so now let's figure out the monthly payment for the 15-year loan. So the monthly payment will equal $153,000 times the rate, which is 5%, 12 installments per year, divided by 1 minus 1 plus the rate, divided by 12, raised to the negative 12 nt. Remember, so it's 12 times, and that's for 15 years. Okay, using your calculator, let's figure out what the monthly payment is. So $153,000 times, in parentheses, 0.05 divided by 12, close the parentheses, divide by, parentheses 1 minus, parentheses 1 plus, 0.05, close the parentheses, raise to the exponent power, put the exponent parentheses, negative 12 times 15, close the parentheses, and then close the denominator, equal, so that's $637.60. So remember, we round near a cent. That's already a 9 right here. So since that's 5 or bigger, since a thousands place 5 or bigger, I got to add 1 to the 9. So it becomes 60. Okay. So now, so that's the monthly payment. So the interest here, to find the interest that you would have to pay, let's go ahead and find the total amount paid. So the total amount paid will equal $637.60 times 12 for 1 year, and that's for 15 years. And so that's going to equal, so 637.6 times 12 times 15 equals, so you get 114,768. Okay? So that's the total amount paid. So the interest at 15% will equal, all right, so remember, you borrow this amount, so 153,000, subtract the total amount paid. Okay, so something went wrong here, because and the reason that something went wrong because this right here should be a lot more than the amount paid. So let me go back and redo this. So $153,000 Okay, times parentheses 0.05 divided by 12, close the parentheses, divide by, open parentheses, 1 minus, parentheses, 1 plus, 0.05 divided by 12, close the parentheses, raised to the parentheses, negative 12 times 15, close the parentheses, equal. All right, so yeah, I did make a mistake. So that should be right here. The total amount is $1,209.91. Okay, so that's going to be, so that's going to change this. So let me go ahead and redo this. So it'll be 91 cents times 12 times 15 equal, all right, so let's do it again. So 1209.91 times 12 times 15 equals $217,783.80. Okay? All right, so that's how much you end up paying altogether. So obviously that has to be a lot more than this, right? Okay. All right, so the interest at 15% then will be this amount, $217,783.80, subtract the amount you borrowed, and we're going to get that interest to be 217,783.8 minus 153,000. So it's like 647.83.80. So $64,783.80. So that's how much interest you would pay. Okay. Now let's talk about the 30-year loan. All right, a 30-year loan. Okay, do the same thing. So we already figured out the down payment. All right, and we already figured out how much we're going to borrow. So this is how much we borrow. So for the 30-year loan, let's figure out how much the monthly payment would be for this amount. So the payment will equal 153,000 times 0.05 divided by 12 divided by 1 minus 1 plus 0.05 divided by 12 raised to the negative 12 times 30 this time. All right. Now remember, everything is equal here, so the rate's the same except the year. So since the year's longer here, the monthly payment should be is going to be smaller than this one. All right, so let's see, 153,000 times, in parentheses, 0.05 divided by 12, close the parentheses, divide by, parentheses 1 minus, parentheses 1 plus, 0.05 divided by 12, close the parentheses, raised to the parentheses, negative 12 times 30, close the parentheses, close, press equal, and that's $821.34. Okay? All right, so that's your monthly payment. So let's find the total amount paid. So the total amount paid will equal, all right, $821.34 times 12 times 30. So remember, that's for 1 year, and then that will be for 30. And so altogether, for the 30-year period, you're going to end up paying $295,682.40. So the interest then, so the interest paid will equal this amount minus how much you borrowed, the amount of the mortgage, which is $153,000, and that's going to equal, all right, so minus $153,000, that's going to equal this amount, so $142,682.40. Okay, so the amount saved, the amount of interest saved, if you go by with a 15-year loan, so the amount, the interest saved, so the interest saved with 15-year loan will equal this amount So the interest for the 30-year loan minus the interest for the 15-year loan. And so that's going to give you this amount. So $77,898.60. So over a 30-year period, so if you go with a 15-year loan, this is how much you end up saving in terms of interest. But keep in mind, though, that you do have a lot more to pay per month, though. So notice this was almost $1,200, and this was just almost $800. All right, so it's a few $100s more per month if you do the 15 rather than the 30, but you do save yourself a lot of interest. All right, so that was number 2. Okay, let's look at number 3. So number 3 says this. In terms of paying less in interest, which one is more economical for $140,000 mortgage? A 30-year fixed rate at 6% or a 15-year fixed rate at 6.5%, and how much is saved in interest? So it's kind of like number 2. So it's going to be the same amount of work. So a lot of work here. Will be the same amount of work, except this time you're comparing 2 interest rates. One's at 6% for 30-year, and the other one's at 15% at 6.5%. 15-year at 6.5%. Okay? All right, now notice in there, it doesn't say anything about a down payment, doesn't say anything about more closing costs or anything. So we're just going to use information we're given. Okay? All right, so number 3. Okay, so let's talk about the 30-year first. So number 3, 30-year. Okay, so there's no down payment, so I'm going to go ahead right away and figure out the monthly payment. So the monthly payment will be $140,000 times the rate is 6%. 0.06 divided by 12 installments, and all that's being divided by 1 minus 1 plus 0.06 divided by 12, close the parentheses, all raised to the negative 12 times, and this is for 30 years. All right, and close that, and so let's see what the monthly payment is. So your monthly payment then will be $140,000 times, in parentheses, 0.06 divided by 12, close the parentheses. All that's being divided by parentheses 1 minus, parentheses 1 plus, 0.06 divided by 12, close the parentheses, all raised to the parentheses negative 12 times 30, close the parentheses, close that, press equal, and that's $839.37. Okay? All right, so that's how much you would pay each month for 30 years. So the interest, and you're asked in terms of paying less in interest. So let's find out, and you're asked to find out how much is saved in interest. So let's find out the total amount first. So the total amount paid, will equal, all right, so that's how much you pay per month. So $839.37 times 12 months in a year, and then, so that's 1 year. This is for 30 years. So you're going to end up paying altogether $839.37 times 12 times 30, and that is $302,173.20. So the interest paid will equal that amount, subtract the amount of the mortgage, which is $140,000, and that's going to equal, let's see what that equals. So that's going to equal, let's see, 100 $62,173.20. So that's how much interest you end up paying. Okay? All right, it's a lot of money over 30 years. Okay, 15 year. All right, now if this was the same interest rate, then obviously you'd save more by going with the 15 year, but the interest rates are different. So let's go ahead and compare them. All right, so the payment will equal, you still borrowed $140,000, except this time my rate is 6.5%. All right, 6.5%, so that's 0.065 divided by 12 months a year, 12 installments. All that is being divided by 1 minus 1 plus 0.065 divided by 12, all raised to the negative 12 times 15. 15 years. So that's going to equal, all right, so let's see what that's going to equal. That's going to equal $140,000 times, in parentheses, 0.065 divided by 12, close the parentheses, divide by, parentheses 1 minus, parentheses 1 plus, 0.065 divided by 12, close the parentheses, all that's being raised to the parentheses negative 12 times 15, close the parentheses, close the denominator, press equal, so that's $1,219.55. So that's how much you pay per month. Okay, so the total amount paid then will equal, total amount paid will equal that per month. And then that amount will be for 1 year, right? And then for 15 years, let's see what that will equal. So $1,219.55 times 12 times 15, press equal. So that's going to be $219,519. Okay? All right. So notice, so therefore the interest then, the interest paid will equal, okay, so $219,519 minus $140,000, and that's going to equal, minus $140,000, $79,519, right? So obviously the 15 year, if you can afford the monthly payment now, so the 15 year though would be the more economical one. So the more economical loan is the 15-year loan. Okay, you will save, and we got to figure out how much interest you're going to save. So this is how much interest you would pay for the 30 year. So you're going to save this minus this one, that's for the 15 year, and you subtract those, and you're going to get $82,654.20. So you're going to end up saving, you will save $82,654.20. Okay? By going with the 15-year loan. All right. So that was number 3. And then finally, number 4, you borrow $180,000. Which mortgage loan has the greater total cost? And the total cost is a closing cost plus the amount paid for points plus the total cost of interest. And the question is by how much? Okay, so you borrow $180,000. Which mortgage loan has the greater total cost? Okay, so it will be the closing cost plus the amount paid for points and the total cost of interest. Okay, so in number 4, basically to find the total cost, since we borrowed $180,000, is the same for both mortgage A and mortgage B. To find which one has a greater total cost and by how much, we're just going to figure out the closing cost plus the amount paid for the points plus the total cost of interest. Okay? All right, so let's look at number 4. So number 4, let's talk about mortgage A. All right, mortgage A. All right, so it is a 30-year, they're both 30 years, by the way. This one's at 6.5%, and the closing cost is of $2,000 and 1 point. Okay? All right, so to find first of all the 1 point, so 1 point, so the cost of 1 point, cost of 1 point will be 1% of how much you borrow. So you borrow $180,000, so times $180,000, and that's going to equal, so for that 1 point, that's going to equal, let's see, 0.01 times $180,000, so $1,800. Okay? Then the closing cost, they tell you, is $2,000, right? And then the cost of the interest. So let's talk about the interest. So to figure out the interest, we had to first of all figure out the monthly payment, just like we did. You do it just like you did this one. Okay? To figure out the interest. Okay. So the monthly payment will equal $180,000 times, and this is 0.065 divided by 12, all divided by 1 minus, 1 plus, 0.065 divided by 12, all raised to the negative 12 times, and this is for 30 years. And so my monthly payment then will equal, all right, so $180,000 times parentheses 0.065 divided by 12 divided by 1 minus 1 plus 0.065 divided by 12, close the parentheses, and then you're dividing that, close the parentheses, let me delete that part. You're raising it, so raised to the parentheses negative 12 times 30, close the parentheses, close the bracket, equal, so that is 1137.72, so $1,137.72. So the total amount paid then will be that amount times 12, so that's 1 year, times 30, and so that's going to equal, so 1137.72 times 12 times 30. All right, so that's how much you would end up paying in one over the 30-year period. So the interest then, the interest you would end up paying would be that amount minus the amount you borrowed, and that's going to equal this amount. Okay, so that's how much interest you would end up having to pay. So that's going to cost you that much extra. So all right. Okay, so the total cost then will equal these three things added up. Okay, so when you add these three amounts up, this is how much your total cost is. Okay, for that mortgage. All right, so that's for the 30-year. Now that's for mortgage A. So let's look at mortgage B now. So this is going to be mortgage B. do the same thing. So the cost of this time, it says this is 2 points. Okay, 2 points, $3,500. So 2 points will equal 0.02. 2 points is 2% of your mortgage, the amount you borrowed, which is this amount. And so that's going to equal, so 0.02 times $180,000, $3,600. And then the closing cost, they tell you, closing cost, and they tell you it's $3,500. All right, now all you have to do is just figure out how much interest I would end up paying. Okay, so we're going to do this right here. You do the same thing. All right, so the monthly payment will equal $180,000 times, and this time the rate is 6%. So we 0.06 divided by 12. All that's being divided by 1 minus, 1 plus, 0.06 divided by 12, all raised to the negative 12 times 30. And so my monthly payment then, $180,000 times parentheses 0.06 divided by 12, okay? And then that's going to be divided by parentheses 1 minus parentheses 1 plus 0.06 divided by 12, close the parentheses, now the exponent, so exponent, parentheses, negative 12 times 30, close the parentheses, close that, press equal, and so that's going to be this amount. All right, so that's how much you would end up paying per month for that one. So the total amount paid, though, so the total amount paid will be this times 12, so that's 1 year, times 30. So in 30 years, you'll end up paying altogether this amount. Okay? Now, that amount includes the amount you borrowed. So the interest then, will be this minus $180,000. And so the interest you end up paying is going to be $208,508.40. So that's how much interest is going to cost you. So $208,508.40. So your total cost then will equal this, this, and this. So that amount plus $3,500 plus $3,600, and that's going to be $215,608.40. Okay, so for mortgage B, this is your total cost, and then for mortgage A, this is your total cost. And the question is, okay, which mortgage loan has a greater total cost? So the one that has a greater total cost will be mortgage A. So you can say mortgage A has the greater total cost. And the question is by how much? And you're going to say, all right, total cost, and by, all right, so let's figure out by how much. So to figure out by how much, you subtract this amount here from this. So that's going to be $233,379.20. Subtract $215,608.40. And when I do that, I end up with $17,770.80. So mortgage A has a greater total cost by that amount. Okay. All right. So that was a long worksheet, but it took care of quite a bit of information from this section. So this is 8.7 part 1.